Today I want to talk about three different versions of the same thing. One, if you had eyesight and it goes away after the age of 2. If you have never had eyesight from birth to the age of 2, and what happens if you didn't have eyesight birth to 2, but at some point later in your life, they come up with a surgery to give you your eyesight back. That's where we're going today. Hi, I'm Carl, and welcome to Blind Life. Today I want to talk about hallucinations and visual phenomenon. So I've talked about Charles Bonnet Syndrome. I want to share a new one that happened to me just the other day. My wife and I were out for a walk. We said hi to a friend of ours, and the friend has very red hair. Curly. My wife has curly hair, but hers is more silver. Let's just leave it at that. So my wife and I are working in the kitchen. We happen to be working on the same counter, and because I only see out of a tunnel, she was talking to me, but she was on my sighted side. I turned to look. I couldn't see her face, but I could see her hair. And because of the curliness of her hair, the woman we had just seen, my brain turned my wife's head into the other woman's head. And although if you imagine this is the line, I can see my wife's hair here. It added the whole head and face beyond where I can see. So these are just the weird things that happen with Charles Bonnet Syndrome. In order to experience Charles Bonnet Syndrome, you have to have been sighted, not even fully sighted, but you have to have been able to see when you were growing up. And then I want to talk about what happens if you grow up not seeing at all. So if you were born not sighted or lose 100% of your sight before the age of 2, then your visual cortex doesn't get activated enough. And because of that, there has never been a documented person in the world with schizophrenia who was blind before the age of 2. Now that, if you know anybody who has a child that was born blind, you can say, well, at least, there is one positive. Your child will never have to deal with schizophrenia, and your family won't either, because that's a very difficult diagnosis to deal with. Not that blindness isn't, but just fascinating and phenomenal stuff about if it is activated, hallucinations can happen, but if it isn't, then hallucinations can't. Even to the extent where, even if somebody were to take hallucinogenic drugs, if they had never had eyesight past the age of 2, they would not have any visual hallucinations. Now, one further point I want to make. If you give somebody eyesight back, they didn't have it before the age of 2, their visual cortex never got wired up. And so even though they can physically see, so, their eyesight works, all the connections are made, they may not be able to interpret what they're seeing. Great book, if you ever want to read about this, is The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. It was by Oliver Sacks. Wonderful book, just understanding how the man, even though he was given his sight back, because he didn't have it when he was young enough, it doesn't really work. And he cannot be tricked by all the illusions that we can draw and whatnot. Because his brain wasn't wired up, it doesn't work for him. He can always tell you the illusion is an illusion, but he also can't identify his wife. So hope you found that interesting. Thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, share it, and hope to see you soon.